What's up guys, and welcome to arguably one of my favourite tracks of the whole entire career mode. I absolutely love Canada, but, and there is a big but, I topped like practice and Q3 and Q2 I topped, but unfortunately in Q3 I just didn't have a decent lap. Everyone kept on getting my way. I went into the Wall of Champions, etc. I just lost my front wing, I ran out of time, and basically I qualified in 10th place. So there was no point in me even running. I should have just saved the engine. But nevertheless, we're in 10th place. Hopefully we can make up some ground on the grid. And it is one of my favourite tracks. I did find it a bit weird driving actually on this on the driving model which F1 2014 offers. So yeah, it chucked up a couple of surprises. I like jumping in the car, you know, diving into the corners really fast, and I just couldn't feel as though I could do that on this track in this game. So I struggled a little bit, but that's why I use practice. And unfortunately, as I said, 10th place is all we could get in qualifying. And we've got Massa in front of us, and Vettel qualified quite far up the grid. So here we are, just waiting for the 5 red lights, and away we go. Getting a semi-decent start, always using the manual gears or the suggested pressing A basically as fast as you can. As soon as you hit 20 you want to be pressing A. We take up the inside of Massa, and we've already got up into P8, trying to find a gap. We get tucked by, I don't know who that was, I'm guessing that was probably Bottas. Yes it was. Put our hand up in frustration, but now we're stuck behind 2 cars going too wide, and we make it 3 wide. Yes we do. Magnussen brakes really early, and we take it nice and easy through that corner, cutting the corner ever so slightly. Can we go up the inside of Vettel here? It does look like a possibility, and we run over the grass ever so slightly onto the curb, which we're allowed to use. And we've lost all kinds of traction, and Vettel's going to have a run at us again. He's on the left hand side. It doesn't look like he got a great run himself. We're going to flick it up onto the left hand side of the track and hopefully maintain the racing line through these corners. This corner is very hard in this game. When you're running no traction at all, it's just so hard to get the traction down, and that's why I think I lost a lot of time in Q3 out of the corners. Just this corner here, it's all well and good going into it nice and easy, but just trying to put that accelerator down, just constantly spinning the wheels, and the gears aren't changing. It's a real shame, because with traction control you can be so much faster, if not a couple of seconds faster on this game, but without traction control it's a real struggle. So here we are coming to the end of the very first lap, and it looks like Alonso and I don't know who that was, but he's gone really slow, and we've had to cut the corner, get caught up on the rubber, and God knows who that was in front. So it looks like Alonso caught up Rosberg massively, but around the chicane they just stopped at each other, and Alonso parked on the apex, so we had to go wide. Luckily we kept the position and didn't hit anyone, so that is very fortunate indeed. And now cutting all the way to lap 7, the only thing which has changed is my tyres are getting a little bit worn, and Magnussen is now in P4 and Vettel is in P5. So that's everything which has changed. And I think Magnussen's going to have a good run at me at the moment. He's right tucked behind us, and he's got DRS and my slipstream, so he's just going to come up the outside and really easily overtake us. We put the fuel into lean, and we're going to dive on the outside and just overtake him into the pits. Nowhere near hitting each other. I would say that's a safe move, and that is done. We've got a couple of cars following us into the pits. Just changing the tyres onto the primes now, and hopefully we can get released. No, of course not, because Bottas or Massa decided to pit along with Hulkenberg. So yeah, we get held up an extra 2 seconds, which means we need a really good outlap to catch up, well, to maintain P3. So let's see what's going to go on and see if we can, where do we rejoin? It's probably going to be in P14. P13, P12, P14 was a wild guess. We're now in P11, so that's reasonably good. Right, let's cut on to the next lap. Well, instead of the next lap, I mean, you know, later on that lap. Lap 8 and sector 3. We put the fuel back into standard so we don't get too much wheel spin going out of this chicane. Braking nice and early. Over the curb ever so slightly. Losing the traction. That wasn't exactly very fast. But you can see the orange dot on the map, or the yellow dot. That is Sebastian Vettel, our championship contender. And he is right out in front of us. He's just going to cross us right now, which is a real shame. So we'll have to try and catch him up, which I don't think is going to happen because he has superior grip with traction control, etc. And now we're going down the back straight again. As you can see, Vettel was about a second and a half in front of me now, so we didn't get DRS, and our opportunity has gone. Alonso's gaining on us quite good. Putting the brakes up into neutral and cutting the corner. There we go, nice exit. Just about touching the wall. But how many cars do we overtake in the pits this time? It looks like there's one. It's up into P6. Are we going to come out in front of Kimi Räikkönen? It looks like we're not going to, as he's just flown past us now. He's braking quite heavily into the first corner, so we might be able to get a run on them. Let's have a quick look. Right at the end of lap 10 now. Can we out braking going into this corner? That is a no, but we are within the 1 second DRS zone, so hopefully if all goes to plan and the game hasn't mugged up, we will have DRS right about here. Let's have a quick look, and yes we do. Can we get anything done going into this straight? It looks like the two cars ahead, Vettel and someone else, are having a bit of a fight. We're going to brake nice and early and go on the inside, and oh my god, Suttil's parked on the apex and I've gone into the back of Kimi. Kimi slowed down something awful because Alonso's right behind us now, and it looks like Kimi might be out with this Grand Prix. It still says we've got 22 drivers, but he has slowed down dramatically. I'm not sure if he's suffered gearbox damage or anything like that. And skipping on to the next lap, we are definitely in P4 out of 21. So Kimi has retired in fact, and we are 9 seconds behind Vettel, and we've just locked up our front right going into that corner, and Alonso is right behind us. Can he get anything done coming out of this corner? He is right next to us. He's got the better traction with all the traction control on. He's on the inside now, but he brakes earlier, and we cut across both curbs and maintain P4. Now going down this straight, it doesn't look like we're going to catch Vettel up because, well, he's about 10 seconds ahead of us now. And coincidentally, Vettel has now got problems with his brakes. It's up into P2, but we are 10.5 seconds behind Hamilton. So Vettel, who has got problems with his brakes, has overtaken Lewis Hamilton. And let's have a look at the sector split now and see if we're any closer. And now there's 8 seconds within one sector. So let's slip again to the end of sector 1, 7 seconds. And again to the end of sector 2, 6.2 seconds. And then across the start finish line, we are, let's have a quick look now. Bottas is behind us, and Lewis Hamilton is 4.5 seconds ahead of us. But my race engineer is still telling me that Vettel's having problems with his brakes, and he keeps on locking up, so he's going slower. But nevertheless, Lewis Hamilton is now only 3.2 seconds ahead of us, and we are gaining him very, very much indeed, taking this corner. This corner again is very hard to take on this version of the game. And can we catch Lewis Hamilton going along the back straight, braking as late as possible? And it looks like he's going so slow. He's really slaying it. So I do not understand what's going on. It's going to be Vettel's having the problem with the brakes, but it looks like Lewis Hamilton is also suffering some problems. Can we get the overtake done going into this chicane? It doesn't look like we're going to catch him up in time, but he might brake really early, and that he does. We take up the inside, going across the curve ever so slightly. He backs out, and we've got P3. We're up into the podium position, which is absolutely fantastic. Vettel's in P2 and is really far ahead of us, 12.1 seconds ahead of us. Nico Rosberg has finished this Grand Prix in first place. I think this is his second win of the season so far out of 7 races. Lewis is back down the grid. He must be in 5th or 6th place, but we're going to come home if we don't mess up this chicane. There we go, cutting the corner a lot there actually, using all the side of the track. But we're going to come home in P3, starting from P10 on the Canadian Grand Prix. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I think was a fantastic drive. It wasn't like we're going to score many points. We went from like P10 all the way up to P3, lost a couple of places in the pit stops, but it's all played out, and now we're in P3, which is fantastic. Lewis finished in P7, given that we overtook him in the last lap. And we are 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. Nico and Lewis only 3 points different at the moment, and we're still 38 points behind them. But they might have some reliability problems, so we don't know how that's going to pay out. But we're still 2nd in the Constructors' Championship as well, with 87 points behind Lewis and Nico. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Pop your comments down below, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.